Let's be honest, we've all done it. We sit down, open our phone or laptop, and say something like, "One day I'm going to start that business," or "I'll hit the gym next week," or "I really need to fix my sleep schedule." And then what do we do next? We scroll. We binge a show. We take a nap. We promise ourselves we'll start tomorrow. But guess what? Tomorrow shows up, and we're still in the same place, just a little more frustrated. Here's the hard truth. Wishing won't change your life. Doing will. But doing consistently? That's where discipline comes in. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to stop waiting for motivation and start building discipline, the kind of discipline that actually leads to real growth, better habits, and a life you're proud of. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. Ready? Let's go. 1. Wishing feels good, but it does nothing. Let's be real, wishing feels kind of nice. It gives you that warm, hopeful feeling, like you're already on your way to a better version of yourself. You picture your dream life. Maybe you're fit, successful, calm, organized. You imagine everything finally falling into place. And for a few minutes, you feel motivated, like you're about to change your whole life. But then reality kicks in. A text distracts you. You get tired. That spark fades. Suddenly all that motivation you felt? Gone. So you say, "I'll start tomorrow." And the cycle repeats. Wishing is like window shopping. You see what you want, you picture having it, but unless you go in and do something, you're not walking out with anything. That version of you that you keep imagining? It won't just appear because you thought about it a lot. You have to show up for it. Dreaming is easy. Doing the work is where the real challenge is. But here's the good part. Once you start taking even small steps, you move from fantasy to progress. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. That's how real growth happens, one small action at a time. Second, motivation versus discipline. What's the difference? Motivation is like that fun, loud friend who hypes you up when things are easy. They're all in when you're excited, the weather's nice, and everything feels new. But the second life gets tough or boring, they're suddenly nowhere to be found. No calls, no messages, just silence. Now, discipline? That's the reliable friend who shows up at your door at 6 a.m., even when you're groggy and annoyed. They don't care if you're in the mood or not. They just know you've got goals, and they're not letting you off the hook. You might roll your eyes, but deep down, you're glad they came. Motivation is based on how you feel. It says, "I'll do it when I feel like it." Discipline says, "I'll do it anyway." That's the real difference. Motivation can get you started, sure, but it won't keep you going. Discipline does the heavy lifting. It's not fancy or exciting, but it works. People who grow and succeed aren't running on motivation all the time. They've just made discipline part of their routine. It's not a superpower. It's a choice you make again and again until it becomes second nature. That's where real change begins. 3. Why we keep waiting. You might be thinking, it's not that simple. I've got work, family, responsibilities. I can't just change everything overnight. And you're right. Life is busy. Sometimes just getting through the day feels like a win, and honestly, it is. But let's be real. Sometimes "I'm busy" is just a cover, a way to avoid something deeper. Often, it's not about time. It's about fear. Fear of failing, fear of looking silly, fear of trying and ending up in the same place again. So instead of risking that, we stay in our comfort zone. We tell ourselves we'll start next week or when things calm down. But here's the truth. That perfect moment when everything feels easy and you're 100% ready, it probably won't come. Life rarely clears a path for you to change. You have to move forward anyway. That's where discipline comes in. It's not about being fearless. It's about showing up, even when you're scared, tired, or unsure. It's choosing action over excuses. Growth doesn't wait for the right mood. It starts the moment you stop waiting and take the first step. Even if your legs are shaking, even if your mind's full of doubt, you move anyway. 4. Start small, really small. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to change their life is going too hard, too fast. You get super motivated and decide to change everything at once, wake up at 5 a.m., work out for 2 hours, quit sugar, meditate, journal, drink a gallon of water, and somehow stay productive all day. By day 3, you're tired, annoyed, and wondering if eating one donut really ruined your progress. You start making excuses. I'll skip today and go extra hard tomorrow. Then suddenly you're back to square one, feeling like you failed. But discipline isn't about doing it all at once or punishing yourself. It's about showing up consistently, even if it's just a little bit. Start small, like 5 push-ups, 10 minutes of reading, 1 glass of water in the morning, making your bed. These may seem too simple, but that's the point. They're doable. And when something is easy to do, you're more likely to stick with it. That small win creates momentum. It builds confidence. And over time, it turns into a routine. Forget trying to overhaul your whole life in a week. What you really need is consistency, because small steps, done daily, lead to big results. 5. Make it too easy to fail. Here's a little trick most people overlook when they're trying to build discipline. Make it so easy, so simple that it would almost feel silly not to do it. Let's say you want to start reading more. Don't tell yourself you need to finish a whole chapter or 30 pages a day. Just commit to 1 page. That's it. 1 single page. Want to start journaling? Forget writing your life story. Just write 1 sentence. Sounds almost too easy, right? Like, what's the point? But that's exactly why it works. When something feels easy, there's no pressure, no stress, no huge time commitment. It removes that mental resistance that usually makes you put it off. You start thinking, well, it's just 1 page, I might as well. And here's the magic. Once you start, you'll often keep going. 1 page becomes 3. 1 sentence turns into a paragraph. But even if it doesn't, you still showed up. You still kept the habit alive. Discipline isn't about going hard every day. It's about showing up consistently, even in the smallest ways, because small steps, done daily, lead to big changes. 6. Set clear goals, not vague dreams. I want to be successful. Sounds good. It feels good to say. But here's the thing. What does that actually mean to you? Success isn't one size fits all. For some people, it's making 6 figures. For others, it's having time to spend with family, feeling healthy, or waking up without stress. If you don't take time to define your version of success, how will you know if you're getting closer or just spinning in circles? Vague dreams stay dreams, but clear goals turn dreams into action. Don't just say, I want to get fit. Say, I'll exercise 3 times a week for 30 minutes. Don't say, I want to start a business. Say, I'll spend 1 hour each night researching and planning. When your goal is specific, it becomes real. It gives you a target to aim for. That clarity helps build discipline, because now you're not just guessing what to do, you know exactly what step to take next. Success isn't about doing everything at once. It's about taking the right steps, one at a time, in the direction that matters to you. 7. Track your progress, even the tiny wins. Progress is like fuel for your motivation. When you see that you're actually moving forward, even just a little, it makes you want to keep going. That's why tracking your wins, even the small ones, is so important. You don't need anything fancy. Grab a notebook, use a calendar, or try an app, whatever feels easiest for you. The key is to write it down. Did you manage to drink your 8 glasses of water today? That's worth celebrating. Did you resist the temptation to spend an hour mindlessly scrolling through TikTok? Big win. Did you write just 1 paragraph for that book you've been dreaming about? That's a victory too. When you track your progress, it becomes real. It's a constant reminder that you're growing, even when it feels slow. Those small wins add up and keep your motivation alive. So keep note of your efforts, because every step forward, no matter how tiny, counts toward your bigger goals. 8. Discipline is a muscle. You've got to train it. You wouldn't walk into the gym once and expect to come out looking like a bodybuilder, right? Building discipline works the same way. It's something you develop over time, with practice and repetition. And just like muscles, discipline isn't always strong. Some days, you'll feel off. You might miss a workout, procrastinate on a task, or slip back into old habits. That's totally normal. Everyone has those moments. What matters is how you handle those setbacks. Discipline isn't about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about getting back up, even when you don't feel like it. It's about forgiving yourself for the slip-ups and choosing to keep going. You don't need to be 100% on point every single day. The goal is simply to show up again and again, no matter what. Because over time, those small choices add up and build real strength, not just in your muscles, but in your mind and habits too. 9. Create a system, not a wish list. People say, I want to write a book, but they have no writing schedule. They say, I want to lose weight, but don't plan their meals or workouts. Wishing doesn't work. Systems do. A system is your daily routine. It's what you do when no one's watching. Set specific times. Use reminders. Automate what you can. Want to stop scrolling in the morning? Leave your phone in another room? Want to save money? Set up automatic transfers. Don't rely on willpower. Build systems that make discipline easier. 10. Stop being all or nothing. This one's huge. A lot of people give up on building discipline because they mess up once. You skip a day and suddenly you're like, well, I failed. Might as well stop. Number. That's not how growth works. If your phone battery hits 50%, do you throw it in the trash? Of course not. So why do you quit your habits after one bad day? Be flexible. Be kind to yourself. One mistake doesn't erase your progress. 11. Learn to do it when you don't feel like it. This is where real growth happens. It's easy to work when you're excited. It's hard when you're tired, bored, or stressed. But the people who grow are the ones who show up anyway. They don't wait for inspiration. They don't negotiate with their feelings. They put on their shoes and run. They sit down and write. They clock in and do the work. Because they know that discipline isn't about feeling good. It's about doing what needs to be done. 12. Replace I can't with how can I. Your brain listens to the words you speak. If you keep saying, I can't wake up early, your brain believes it. Instead, ask, how can I make waking up early easier? Maybe it's sleeping earlier, putting your alarm across the room, prepping your clothes the night before. Every problem has a solution if you're willing to look for it. Discipline starts in your mindset. Switch from excuse mode to solution mode. 13. Get an accountability partner or just tell someone. Let's face it, we're more likely to show up when someone else is counting on us. If you're trying to build a habit, tell a friend. Get an accountability partner. Join a community. You don't have to do everything alone. When someone checks in on you, you're more likely to follow through. And if you're really bold, tell your friends on social media what you're working on. Let the public pressure help you stay on track. Chapter 14. Don't wait for January 1st. Start today. There's nothing magical about Mondays or New Year's. You don't need a perfect date to begin. All you need is a decision. Start today. Even if it's 5 p.m., even if it's messy. Start with one small action, something you can do right now before this video ends. Growth doesn't happen on a calendar. It happens when you choose to take the first step. 15th, discipline builds confidence. Here's a bonus. The more you keep promises to yourself, the more your confidence grows. You stop saying, I wish, and start saying, I'm doing it. You stop seeing discipline as a punishment and start seeing it as power. You realize you're not lazy, you're just building. And slowly you become the kind of person you've always wanted to be, not because you dreamed about it, but because you showed up for yourself over and over again. Final thoughts. Wishing might feel nice, but doing consistent, disciplined action is what actually changes your life. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be the most motivated person on the planet. You just need to start. Start small, start scared, start tired. Just start and keep going. Because the future you want, it's not out there waiting. It's built by what you do today. So stop wishing. Start doing. Your growth begins now.